So we are off the blocks in the Temple. Oxford Brookes University A crew, fastest of the Brookes crews against Edinburgh University. I love the sound of these eights getting underway. There's going to be a lot of aggression, a lot of power in those 16 pairs of legs powering off the start there. Clean start.
And Brookes are the winners from last year. Was big numbers of entries this year, 71 entries for Temple.
Yeah, such a strong field. 71 entries and only 32 spots to race, and already we are in the quarterfinals. So who is going to book a spot in the semi-finals here today? This is the top boat from Oxford Brookes, and you know they've got a fearsome reputation here at Henley, not really wanting to go up against their top boat. But Edinburgh University has got a ton of experience. I was looking, you know, we've got 28 Henley races between them from the Edinburgh crew, and 33 between them from Brookes, who are the holders. So there's a ton of Henley experience across these two crews, and that does make a difference. But as we look from our catamaran surging alongside these twos, we can see these two crews. We can see a couple of seats, maybe 3 or 4 seats already from Brookes, the A crew, their fastest crew. They put them out on the track here, and Edinburgh doing everything they can to hold onto their coattails.
Yeah, Brookes looks really solid. Look at the flow. They just build through and just moving stroke after stroke away really calmly from Edinburgh.
So, Julia, let's just use your coaching expertise here. You've got the eye of a coach. When you're looking at an 8 from the outside, what are you first looking at to try to sort of see how they're moving and how they're moving the boat?
You definitely look at the synchronicity of the whole crew, how the movement goes around the hip, how we are moving the boat, the body. You want to make the placement. Obviously, all depends the level which crew we are looking and we are talking about. But definitely here Brookes is just the top of the books.
That synchronicity you talk about, you're looking at the big picture. Are they moving as one? And you're so right, you know, that's what we see from these Brookes crews. They're so well drilled, aren't they? Moving as one. Through into the middle of the course now. We're just approaching that halfway mark, and I think Edinburgh, they threw a lot into that start, but it's a tall order for them. To get here, they had to beat Exeter, and well, for both crews actually, because we come live, we can see that Brookes had established more of a lead. But for both crews, it's a bit of a deja vu, because to get to this race, Brookes had to dispatch Holy Cross from the US, and then Brookes B and Exeter were dispatched by Edinburgh, who then faced Brookes D. So Brookes all the way through the programme. These are the last men standing, the Brookes A crew here, and look at that rowing. So let's just let's take a bit more of the technical input from you. We've got these fantastic shots to talk to. So you said we're looking at the overall picture. There's real synchronicity. What else can we see here? What else would you look for as a coach?
For me, what is fascinating is always the work of the coxes. So in Edinburgh, we have Lucy Evans, and from Oxford Brookes, we have David Knapp, and I'm really interested what are the calls right now, what was the tactic for, oh, if we win the race we're going to do this, and how amazingly the rowers are responding to those calls. I think it's just great to see, to observe what decisions the cox are making right now.
Absolutely. I think you're calling out communication as we look there at the face of the Edinburgh Cox, Lucy Evans, and really talking the crew through what they need to do. It's her job to sustain the belief, to sustain that technical focus that they have and ensure the motivation's there. I always think those 3 elements of the coxing role that you call out, they're so important. And the communication is also the non-verbal or the slightly verbal through the crew. In rowing in an A, it's always great if you're in the stern to hear a yip, a shout, a call, a holler from somebody in the bows who's enjoying the ride, and that's exactly what Brookes are doing here.
Yeah, there's a big lead from the Brookes, but still really clean and powerful. You can see those paddles moving away from the boat moving away from the paddles. Yeah,
so just looking down at Edinburgh, we're going to say goodbye to them. So let's name check Henrik Gunderson, Benjamin Nussey, Alex Levy, Oliver Holmes, Christian Carter, Gabe Messner, Drew McKinnon, Honor Howie and Lucy Evans as they approach the last 20 strokes of this race. Edinburgh have done well to make it here and to make it through Brookes D and Exeter, but Brookes A is a couple of steps up the alphabet and maybe 1 or 2 notches too far for them to respond. As Brookes come past the progress board, that's our little white cabin on the right where old-fashioned bits of wood are used to illustrate to the spectators the position of the crews. Well, there's a bit of a gap between the indicator board for Oxford Brookes A and Edinburgh that's opened up very steadily through this race. So booking a spot in tomorrow's semi-finals Saturday tomorrow. I'm really excited. But this is the quarterfinals day here at Henley as Brookes A cross the line. Edinburgh held their heads high after that, I think. Really good performance for them, but very tall order. Oxford Brookes going through to Saturday.